Hello crafty friends, this is the Paper Chef here. In today's video, I'm going to share 21 projects I created using the July 2022 Paper Pumpkin Kit called Sending Good Thoughts. There are lots of other surprises in store. For example, I'm going to share 20 cards, 2 3D projects. We're going to make the 21st project. I'm going to unbox a full Paper Pumpkin Kit so you can see what's included in a typical Paper Pumpkin Kit. And I'm also going to share what inspired some of these crafts and something my grandfather created. Or that is something my grandfather created. All right, so let's just get started with what I do when I first open a kit. I go ahead and I look at the front. These are the cards here. Then I look at the back. Okay, I look at the cards, and then I look at the back, and I look at the coordinating colors, and I pull out my ink that I have to coordinate with it. So the coordinating colors are Balmy Blue, Basic Gray, Bermuda Bay, Fresh Freesia, Pacific Point, and Poppy Parade. So that's what I do. Haven't even opened this. I'm going to go ahead and open it for you. There are detailed instructions in color for the kits, but I pretty much only made cards as I saw, like kind of just as I was inspired. So I'll show you a couple that kind of look like this, but then I just went on and did my own thing for all of them. So here's my first card that I made. And what I did for this ship, the ship in the bottle, is I put it on a wobble spring. And this is a piece, this is one of the cards, the Bermuda Bay cards that came with it. So I did everything, like I just used those seagulls from the kit. As you notice, there's a piece of embossed paper behind it. So this is definitely one of them that you want to get refills from. One of the kits that you want to get refills, because refills make, you have a stamp set that comes with the kit. And then when you get refills, you'll get all the extra pieces to make 9 more cards, which is a very good value. Okay. Going to show you why the ship in the bottle is so important to me. Here's another card I created. I'm just picking them up not in any particular order. For this one, sometimes I use Bermuda Bay from the kit. Yeah, this is a piece, you can tell it's a piece of cardstock because it's dyed all the way through. So I just used a lot of extra Bermuda Bay cardstock for these projects. Now you can tell this is one of the ones that is from the kit because it's white in the inside. So it's thinner because it's not as thick. This is a heavier cardstock when you use the Stampin' Up cardstock. So for this I took Poppy Parade, Fresh Freesia, and Bermuda Bay, and I stamped a bunch of seahorses on there. I also used the little element inside the stamp set that had little dots on it and did some texture. And then I put a little piece there behind it, and I used the Stylish Shapes dies for the Thinking of You because I ran out of the ones that came with it. And I used another ship here. And then this is a piece of the card that I cut apart, so I didn't use the whole background of the card, so I was able to get more out of it. And a piece of Basic Gray from one of the card bases. Wrap some extra twine on there. So I'm using the supplies that came with it, some of my extra Bermuda Bay cardstock. Let's put these here because you can see them. Some extra embossing folders and things, and then I just pretty much cut out, like I did another tutorial if you missed it, and it was how to cut out stamped images using your ScanNCut. So when I first got this ship out of the package, this is a beautiful stamp with lots of detail. I immediately thought, well, why not cut out these stamped images with the ScanNCut? So if you have a ScanNCut or you want to know more about the ScanNCut machine, there are loads and loads of ships I cut out that I haven't even used yet. Haven't even used them all on cards. So what I'm showing you is just the first projects I've been making. But when you cut them out, you get a lot of extra dimension and depth that you can, and because you're putting them, and you can pop them up with dimensionals and have a 3D effect, and then you can put more on the backgrounds of your cards, because when you cut out stamped images, you just have extra embellishments. So for this one, I used the sea star, and that extra little, this is Bermuda Bay, the extra little element with the dots on it. One of the Poppy Parade seahorses. Wishing you all the best in Poppy Parade. And this piece was embossed like that. This Fresh Freesia piece was embossed with the waves. I love that. A couple ships going by, and this banner was included. So that's one of the reasons I show you what was included in the kits. These next 3, I used the Timber 3D embossing folder to give it that masculine rustic look. Here's what the embossing folder looks like. Nice etched embossing folder. Okay, so for these 3 cards, I used that same background. Now, what I did after I used the background is I took some Wink Stella and some white ink and made I rubbed it around my hands. I first put Wink Stella like on there, onto the card, and then I took it and put it on my hands and just rubbed over the embossing folders. And so you can see sparkly, you can see more texture. So it really brought out the timber even more in the background. There's there was so much of this cool coral with these colors in it. That's why I said I just can't wait to get more refills, because I was able to cut these apart and use them as, like, that was one embellishment that I cut in half and used some behind the ship and some behind. Here's another piece where I cut it in half, like some behind this bottle. So this bottle doesn't have a wobble spring, but I still popped it up with dimensionals and used a little extra piece of the card. So here's this piece was a whole background, this piece here, but you can see how I chopped some of it there, stamped right onto it over there on the white line part of it. So you can just do different things. Just change it up. Just take each card and just create it as if you're starting a whole new creation from scratch. So this is even the card base that came in the kit. Just start each new project. See what happens. You don't have to like think of them as a whole. Just say each one you want to be individual. Okay, let's see. We'll put that down there. Yeah, you get wobbles. You can get them. They're linked in the description of this video, the wobble springs. So if you use the link in the video, you'll be supporting my channel. So there's another half of that element from the card. And you can stamp the ship right in the bottle. That's what this recipe, or let's see. That's what was done in the sample here. But I just thought the ships looked even better 3D. So that's Bermuda Bay. But when you stamp it in there, it looks cool too, because it gives it that sort of antique effect. This is, again, the stylish shapes dies. And I used the seagulls in different ways. There was 3 seagulls with each card, or each of those 3 cards. And so I had 9 seagulls, and I was just able to stretch them out. So putting 1 seagull, sometimes 2 seagulls on cards, I was able to stretch them out. So here I put I stamped the little sea stars, put the seagull there with the message in the bottle. I stamped the message in the bottle inside the bottle. Then I did some aging. I just sort of took my extra ink and sort of just stamped it around to give it like sort of like a beat up effect, like it's been going through the ocean, washed up on the beach, right? Wishing you all the best. So, I mean, really interesting color combination. I like the color combination. It's really nice. Here's another one of the embossed ones. I love those embossed backgrounds. So I just made my own little scene with some seaweed. This is Pacific Point, and that was Pacific Point. This is Bermuda Bay. Poppy Parade up here. And again, just a piece of this coral. Okay, let's see. Here's another one. Okay, here's when you can see how the whole background. So this is the one where I took half the background and a piece of basic white. And then here's one with the whole background. So you can use, and this is what we were going to do for our project together. So I figured we would do this project together, and I'll make a box out of it. So that's a good place to stop sharing the cards for a moment and just right into the box making. So what I want to do, because I always, in my Paper Pumpkin videos, show you how to make a project. And I usually wait until the end when I open up the second kit. But this second kit of mine, although I'll open it up for you and unbox it, it's accounted for, meaning one of my subscribers asked me if I could get them this kit. Because they're like, they're getting the current kit coming up in August. But if you don't subscribe by the 10th, you can't get this kit anymore. And I happen to have 2 of them, so I'm going to get it to her. But this is basically July 2022 kit. We never know what we're going to get. It's always a surprise. Boy, was this such a pleasant surprise for me. So you never know what you're going to get. It depends. I mean, they give you, like, most of them are card kits. So maybe about 10 times a year it's a card kit. And then maybe the other times it's like 3D or home decor project. So you just never know. They give you a little hint. So anyway, I saved this piece here. We're going to make this as the top of the box lid. We're going to make a box. So what we're going to do is look at this size, and we're going to say, okay, this is 4-inch, but wait, 4 and it looks like 4 1/8 inch. This little piece. What I'm going to try to do is just see if I'm going to try 4 inches. You want the bottom of the box to be a smidgen smaller than the top of the box. I'm just going to try this out. Hopefully that will work. So let's turn this over. And I think that's going to be a good smidgen. Okay, good. So this one, this bottom of the box, I'm going to use Bermuda Bay for the bottom of the box. It's a smidgen smaller than this top shape. So this should be like 5 1/4 or a little more, maybe 5 3/8, let's say. Like it's just like if I go 5 1/4, I'm going to be a smidgen smaller because all those are is like about a 16th bigger. So let's just say, so when you make a box, bottom of the box, you're going to make the bottom piece a smidgen smaller than the top piece. So that's what the top of our box is going to look like, and that's what the bottom of our box is going to look like. Depending on how wide you have the box, you know, that's how much you're going to score it around on the sides. So I'm done with the cutter. Put that down. Now you can score with your paper trimmer. Okay, we got to remember I need to show you these cards over here. You can score with your paper trimmer, or you can just use what's called the Simply Scored. This is a really good item to get in your starter kit if you join Stampin' Up! Because it's a really cool gizmo. So we're going to just score the same amount around all the sides. So a good way to score would be like 7/8 of an inch. Let's try 7/8 of an inch. Or you could go 1 inch, or you could go 3/4 of an inch. We're going to go 7/8. It might look like I'm on the 1, but I'm not. I'm actually, the larger line is the 1. So right before it, where the number 1 is, that's actually 7/8. You're going to do the same here, and it's going to work because we made the bottom a smidgen smaller. That's why this is going to work. Okay, now you're going to take your little spatula, and you're going to fold the sides over. So what we call this in Paper Pumpkin lingo, and there's a whole, a lot of Paper Pumpkin groups, is we just call this a Paper Pumpkin alternative project. Pretty much almost everything I'm showing you today is a Paper Pumpkin alternative project. I get my Crafty Mojo when I get my Paper Pumpkin kit because it just gives me all kinds of creative possibilities, as you will see. And you can use your stamps and save them and index them and use them for all kinds of things. So all the sentiments I'm showing you today are just ones that I'm using right from the kit. So you have different sentiments. That's nice. What I'm doing is now I'm just cutting it's called mitering the edges. So you basically cut a little triangle out of the sides there. And this helps when you're closing your box. So I'm just doing it on the flaps. You'll see the little triangles falling out there. And use your paper snips for this because they give you the fine detail work. If you like box making and you have a ScanNCut, definitely check out my boxes and envelopes course because there are templates you can use to make boxes quickly, but I find it therapeutic and a nice way to use up scraps. So what you have here after you mited the edges, and I'm going to go and put it on this part so you can see it. You have something like this, right, where you got little triangles out. I just like to say, okay, this is like the letter H, and I'm getting my little triangles out of the flaps. And that's what it looks like when you're done. And you do the same thing to the lid. Depending on what I have going on, sometimes I make more 3D projects, but in this case, I wanted some more cards. So I just made a couple of 3D projects this time. I think when I go back to the June kit, which I haven't played with yet, it wasn't as exciting to me. It was on gardening. It was really popular. Farmer's market. I mean, it was super popular. Just not as exciting as this one because I like the nautical things. All right, I'm going to use, I would normally use glue, but I just did get my refill. So we'll go ahead and stop and show you how to do that too. Lots of tips in my videos here. So this is what I'm showing you is how you can take your Stampin' Seal Plus right? And you can open it up like this when it runs out, and you're just going to pull it out. That's just kind of, leave it there. Don't refill it till the other one's in front of you so you know which way to put this one. Even though I know it by heart now, it's still, I like to put it in front of me, just kind of like, I always like to know. It's very easy to refill, but I always like to know, okay, it's right in front of me. I'm doing it the right way. And that's how easy it is to change it up. Okay, and then to get it going, you're just gonna put it like, roll it a few times, like maybe in your hand or like that. And there it is. And you get these little ridges. I'm trying to say ridges. And it's a nice, easy way to put boxes together. And so is tear and tape, and so is glue. But if you have glue, then you need like your little clothespins or something to help hold the glue together while it dries. All right, so you're going to go like that. A little bit extra adhesive went sticking out the side. So I'm not sure who your Askin's in Utah, but no, in the company that I'm a representative for, so I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. Our company's in Utah, American-based company. It's near Salt Lake City. But that might be where you saw things from Utah. From the, when we send out a catalog, I thought my return address is on it, but sometimes their return address is there. All right, so because I did that little bit of, I made the bottom smaller than the top. That's how this is going to magically fit over the top, even though I scored it the same on all the edges. So even though I scored it 7/8 of an inch, right? Then it's going to be, see, this fits over magically on top of that. Cool, right? So that's how to do our project. Now I already have some things for you. Maybe we can do a little stamping with that. No, I think I'll use this one. I already have a couple things I saved. Like, I can't wait to see you. And I've already put the twine on it just to save you time. But you could put thinking of you. I mean, you could put a little seagull on. We could put a little seagull on there. So I saved, these are things I saved from my kit. I could put another ship on there. I mean, you could do all kinds of stuff. I could put a ship on the inside. I have lots of extra ships. So there's so many things you can do with this. I'm just going to go ahead and put it like that. And I'm just going to use dimensionals. Stampin' dimensionals come in your kit. So let's see, something like that. Yeah, maybe like, I don't think I need my seagull, but we'll see. Yep, I'm going to go for it that. I'm not even going to put the seagull on it. But I still have a seagull, so we'll use it for another project. Okay, tilt. That one had a little bit of, sometimes when you mess up your stamping, you stamp it on the other side too. Just use the edge of my dimensionals. Gotta get that under. Dun, dun, dun. There you go. So we have a cute little box with cute little things that you can put inside, and I'll show you my candy that I put inside the other ones. So that is an alternative project for you. And while I'm doing boxes, I'll just show you my other boxes, right? And that way you can see what would fit in this box, what kind of things you can fit in this box. So this one here is so not only can you make a box like this, right, like we just did, using Bermuda Bay and a lid, but you can take a box. These are called the mini treat boxes, or little treat boxes. These retired recently. And so I hope you stocked up on them, because I kept telling you, stock up on them. It's in my newsletter when something's retiring. So I did, because I love these little treat boxes, because you can stamp right onto them. And then here's all the stuff that you can fit in them. So here's just one little treat box, and see all the stuff you can fit on it. And I just stamped the front of that one and the top. Okay, now for this one is available now at my Stampin' Up! Store, linked in the description of this video. This one is called the envelope box because it looks like an envelope. So what I did is I stamped it in different directions. I put the background up, and then I stamped it while it was flat. Obviously, you stamp it while it's flat. Put a little piece of coral on there, stamped around it. I used fresh freesia, Bermuda Bay, and Pacific Point and Poppy Parade for stamping. And for this little box, it opens, and I put thinking of you. And for this little box, this you can get now. Like I said, these are part of the holiday catalog. You can fit lots of stuff in it. So more little treats that you can fit in there. Look how much space is in this one. You can put lip balm in there as well. And you could just do this for different holidays. So if you want to just use your stamp sets to put treat boxes, so you could, this is the one we just made. Just to kind of give you an idea of the one we just made. Some Smarties will fit in there. Mini Mentos. Just get candy from Dollar Tree, which I'm outraged. It's no longer $1. It's $1.25. But there you go. Put all that in there, and you have a treat box. So you have something cute, and it's elegant, and it's just something really nice. Okay, so that's what you can do with the three. That's some 3D items. Now I'm going to go back to showing you cards, and then I'll like say hello. Okay, did you cut out the reefs? No, I didn't cut out the reefs. These. No, I didn't have to cut these out. These come in the kit. All these beautiful pieces. I'm going to open up a kit. So who asked that? That was Gloria. Gloria, you're going to see what, when I open up a kit. See, all these pieces of coral. You're going to see what comes in a kit. And, of course, Paper Pumpkin subscribers are allowed to get refills. So we are able to get, so the kit is $23.50, which includes shipping. You'll get this box of crafty goodness in the mail. There's nothing in this one, but I'm going to open up another one. So it includes shipping to your house. And it's a surprise each month. And it makes, like, for example, 9 cards plus the stamp set, et cetera, right? All the embellishments, twine, et cetera. Then you can get refills for only $11. So you can make 9 more cards and all the other stuff. Well, I made 20. I'm still on the first kit. So I'm still on the first box here. And I made 21. This was the 21st project that I just showed you with one kit. Of course, a lot of it I did use my own cardstock, right? But I'm showing you what I made with one kit, using up all the embellishments, only the stamps. So all these little things came with it. So here's another piece of that embossed. Fresh freesia. I love the color combination. I love the little bottles. Here's another one with the message in the bottle. Can't wait to see you. And the background we just turned into a box. And that was one of the basic gray cards. So there were 3 cards that came in there. There were basic gray, fresh freesia, and Bermuda Bay. So they were the colors of the cards that came in here. Here's another one. This is a piece of cardstock. I didn't put the blank inside it. So I put Bermuda Bay to pull in the Bermuda Bay from back here, and there's Pacific Point in the front. And I love the embossed clouds. If you didn't notice those before, I love how the seagulls are flying through the embossed clouds. Super cool. And these little pieces can't wait to see you, that you tie on. These little ones with the stitching are from Stylish Shapes Dies. Okay, and then we have, don't think I showed you this one yet. This one is Sending Good Thoughts. So this one is just me using just one of the blank cards. And I just decorated straight onto the front of it without using one of these pieces. And it stretched it out. Just the coral, the little seahorses. Yeah, so you could cut out some more coral. You could save the coral. I saved this here to show you something, because you could take this and you could use this as a stencil as well. The pieces of coral that come out of here. And then you can like sponge color. So there's a lot you could do with just these extra pieces when you're making cards. So if you want to save those and make extra things with your silhouettes, that would be very cool. All right, so I'm going to show you my in color ones now, and let me also say hello again, Gloria. Nola, okay, just sitting down to eat. I hope you're eating while you're watching, Nola. Don't give up food for me. Okay, and Gloria likes how I cut them on the ScanNCut, so go check out that other video. And Patty H, hello. Love this. Okay, so memories. I'm going to share those memories, Lynn. We'll show you that. Yes, Wobbles. Awesome, Wobble Springs. And Melissa's watching from Texas. Marilyn's watching from Pennsylvania. Hello, Kathy again. Hello, Linda from Stamp, Cut, and Create. Hello, let's see who we have here. Need any Nield. I hope I spelled that right. Nild. Hope I spelled that right. Okay, hello, Yvonne. Thank you, Gloria. Hello, Sandy. All right. So you could cut more, scan and cut. Yeah, you could cut with that leftover stencil. Of course, you could scan that in, but put it on a black background. Okay, I'm ready to show you my in color ones now. Completely different color scheme. So yes, Kathy, you would scan this with the ScanNCut, but not this side because this will be too hard for the thing to recognize. Put it on a piece of black paper, right? And then you'd have good silhouettes. But you would lose all the detail of these would work out fine, the coral, but these ones, the seagulls, you would end up just with just silhouettes. So that's why I think it's just better for those just to get refills. For this, I'm just getting refills. I'm not bothering my ScanNCut for that, but I did for the ship because I wanted lots of ships, and you can see what I did with them here. So now I'm going to show you. So just be everything up until now, I was all done with the color schemes from the kit, and now I'm going to show you how I used my ink colors to create different color schemes from this kit. So for this one, I used the 5 new ink colors. This is Orchid Oasis. And same here with the glimmer paper background. This is Parakeet Party that I inked around the edges. This is Sweet Sorbet, this piece of red. This is Tahitian Tide, this white part in the back. And then I stamped it in Starry Sky. Okay, so yeah, Kathy, definitely. When it's $11 for a refill, why would you like have any frustration with the machine and trying to do it yourself? Like, it's so cheap for the refills. And they're already like colored and shaded and matching. And if you cut it out, you wouldn't get all that effect of the ombre. I mean, they're just going to be better on the refills. So like, I just used the best tool for the job. In this case, it was the best tool was cutting out this for the ScanNCut, the ship, because you can't get ships in the refill. The ship was a stamp. It wasn't an embellishment, but I wouldn't cut out these because I would just get refills. I wouldn't waste my time. My time is so precious. And $11, like, it's the time it would take me, my time's too precious to waste time trying to cut out this when I could buy a refill. But anyway, back to this. So no, I already told you about that one. That was the ink colors. Now this one, this is called Parakeet Party and Starry Sky. Again, Parakeet Party around the edges, a Parakeet Party base. I love this. It reminds me of the old color called Lemon Lime Twist. So there's just a couple colors in here. Orchid Oasis background. And it's just elegant because the ship you can use for anything. The ships are just a good element to have for a card. For this one, I did the embossing folder called the Hive 3D embossing folder. And I'm using Tahitian Tide. And this one's probably Night of Navy down here. Although I probably might switch it out with one of my, you can see, I think I might switch it out with one of these guys. Oh, no, I know why I use Night of Navy. Because Night of Navy is a neutral color, but also because this one was too close to the color behind it. That's why. So we're going to leave it like it is. I did have a reason for making that decision. So Night of Navy, Tahitian Tide, Sweet Sorbet, Parakeet Party. And then I used the vellum from the layering vellum, Tahitian Tide background. And I just layered up the vellum so that there'd be a little border around the edge. Layered up strips of In Color Designer Series paper. Okay, last 2 cards before I open the box. I'm going to open the refill box. These last 2, I used the background called the Ray of Light background. It's in the annual catalog. And I used some in color. So this was Crushed Curry for the sun rays. And then I used some in color for my ships. Sweet Sorbet, Tahitian Tide, Starry Sky for my ships with an Orchid Oasis background. And for this one, I used one of the Tea Boutique cards and envelopes with the little dots in the back. That's what the envelope looked like. I just used that because I was running out of backgrounds with my in colors. So, and I used some opal rounds there. I'm not even sure if I'm going to embellish the rest with opal rounds because the ships are the embellishments. And so all of the sentiments you saw, can't wait to see you, sending good thoughts, wishing you all the best, and thinking of you. All 4 of those sentiments came in this month's Paper Pumpkin Kit. And you just make extra ones and you can tie them onto things, tie them onto your boxes. Okay, let me open up now. A Paper Pumpkin Kit. So when you subscribe, it comes all wrapped in plastic to protect it. Okay, I'm going to open it up. The first time you subscribe, And the subscription, the link to the subscribe is in my channel. The first time you subscribe, you're going to get a free gift. I'm going to grab that and show you what it looks like. I think it looks like this, but this might be one from a different kit. But you get like a stamping block that's thinner than the typical stamping blocks. So like this is a stamping block we sell, and then this will be like your free gift. But maybe it's not quite this thick because this could have come from a kit. But either way, you get a stamping block. That way, when you next time you get your kit, and that month you can use your kit right away. So if you're very new to stamping, this is perfect for you. Here's the ship, and you can see how like I did. You know, mine got a little stain because I did some sweet sorbet and some poppy parade. I made ships from the different things, right? So this is the stamp set that I've been using. I'll show you. So you always get a very unique stamp set with each month's Paper Pumpkin kit. And then you saw me use every one of these stamps. Like every one. That was the little, I call it the dots. And then the seaweed, the seahorse, the little sea star. Okay? And the ship, of course, is my favorite element. You get a stamping spot Bermuda Bay. I find it's better to use the larger ink pads. That's just my own personal opinion. Like for example, like I like using the larger ones like this to make the seahorses and things. Okay, it's giving us a sneak peek of what's coming up. So if you subscribe now, you're going to get sweet sunflowers. Okay, and you subscribe. There's a link in the, use my link. Don't use this one. It takes you to the generic Stampin' Up site. Use my link in the description of this video so that I get credit, because a lot of times people subscribe to me and then like, or check if you haven't heard from me in a while, you didn't get a catalog from me, you probably used a generic link and didn't subscribe to my Paper Pumpkin, because my Paper Pumpkin subscribers, they get catalogs 3 times a year from me and things like that. So if you think you subscribe with me, you might have clicked on one of these generic links and not the one in my description of the video. Anyway, I'm going to read this because I didn't know about the free gift thing. I know about the August kit is called Sweet Sunflowers. So it says, free gift for subscribers. Get ready for softly serene watercolor sunflowers in a sophisticated and stylish color palette with Sweet Sunflowers Paper Pumpkin Kit. This kit is filled with special techniques, printed die-cut pieces, fun embellishments, and 2 classic Stampin' ink spots. Oh yes, that means we're going to get 2 of these next month. These are really fun. You will not want to miss out on this creative masterpiece. Make sure you're subscribed in August to get yours. So I wonder what the free gift is. Maybe they're talking about the extra Stampin' spot. But that's your sneak peek of what August looks like. Now, celebration's happening. That means that when you spend $50 or more, you get free gifts. So this is the perfect time to subscribe to Paper Pumpkin. So it's saying, get your free goodies during celebration. So if you were to get, like anytime, okay, so it's saying when you spend $50, that's Canadian, but here, US dollars, $50 US, you get a free product, or $100, you can get free products. Okay, so I've done celebration videos, but if you get a prepaid Paper Pumpkin subscription, you get lots of free gifts too. Like, you can get lots of free paper, celebration gifts. All right, now I'm showing you what a refill looks like. And those of us that subscribe are allowed to get refills, and it's in a tissue paper. Okay. Oh, it's gold on honeycomb pieces. Is that the free gift? How did you know about that? Cool. Okay, so Kathy Schmidt is in the know. She's saying that you're going to get gold honeycomb foiled pieces as your free gift. Oh, cool. Awesome. Background size honeycomb pieces. That's going to be nice. Yes, why do you prefer the larger ink? Because it does a better job. Because this one is all gooey. So Lynn's asking me, I mean, I'm honest with my viewers. This is like all juicy and gooey. And then if you use like an ink pad, here, I'm going to show you why. I like to answer questions with visuals. Okay, here, we're going to stamp, before I open the rest of this kit, we're going to stamp 2 seahorses. Okay? We're going to stamp Seahorse and Poppy Parade. Tap, tap, tap. There's Poppy Parade from the ink pad. Okay, now that's from the Poppy Parade ink pad. Let's wipe this off with a baby wipe. Okay? It's not really it's not quite wet baby wipe. But okay, so now I'm going to do it with the Stampin' spot. Okay, watch this. Look at that. Well, you can't see it yet. Let me do it again. Okay? Now let me pull that up to the camera, and you can see the major difference in quality from a stamping spot versus a a new little ink spot. Look at see the dots, and you can see there's just, these are not as good a quality because they're so juicy. Now, once you get these conditioned, they become perfect like a regular stamping pad. Like you use them for a while and they dry out a little. You don't get all the dots, but then the problem is by the time then they start drying out, and then you're like, SOL again. I had to look through, like I needed some gray today, and I had to look through to find my gray, and it was kind of old, and then it was kind of dried out. So the ink spots dry out quicker than the ink pads, but I like them because they're felt. Look at that. See? Dried out. So I went to find basic gray. It was dried out. I'm like, well, that's great. So see? And that wasn't even that old. This is just from a few months ago. Then I went to say, okay, well, maybe I have a smoky slate one. So I went and I said, okay, smoky slate. Look at that. It was almost dried out. See? So, and this was one I just opened. I just opened it and it was dried out. So what I'm saying is the ink pads hardly ever dry out. I could go years and years without them drying out, my ink pads. I mean, like 3 years sometimes. I open them up 3 years later and they're not dried out. Anyway, anywho, let me make sure my hands are clean before I show you this one. So now I'm going to open this paper pumpkin kit. I need my scissors. This is showing you what's in your kit. So those of you that haven't opened your kit yet, I got to put it back in here so I don't lose the pieces. I'm going to grab tweezers. I had scissors there a minute ago. But it's like we are trying to gear our paper pumpkin kits to new crafters. So some people keep asking me, can I buy all your stamping spots? I love them. I use them for my stamparatus when you're inking up small pieces. Or they ask me, can I have your old stamping spots? And I give them out as prizes. And people who, so these are great for like you're trying to start your color collection. But for someone who has every color of ink, I don't have them all with me, but I'm saying I prefer the big ones. But for someone who's starting out the color collection, it's great. Or new crafters, they're giving you the colors you need to coordinate with your kit, and you're ready to go. The kit's all inclusive, and it comes with ink. So, I mean, go for it. It's awesome to have your ink you need. All right, so here's what you get in a paper pumpkin kit. You get dimensionals. These are foam dimensionals. That's a type of adhesive. You get your twine and glue dots. So this is your adhesive you need for the kit. This is what a refill looks like. But your new kit comes with these 2 extra things. If you get a full kit, it comes with this, and your first time you get your stamping block. The refill comes with the shrink wrap part I just opened. Okay, let's put this. You get your instructions and your piece of cardboard. So let's put that down first. Put that in the bottom. Okay, and then you get all of these things. See? You get all of these beautiful pieces. Okay, and if someone's saying that they don't get the dry it out issue, it's because you might live in a climate that doesn't dry everything out. Like, it depends on your climate, too. Here you go. So that's pretty cool, right? Those are nice die-cut pieces. And then you get 3 Bermuda Bay cards. 1, 2, 3. You get these pieces to put your sentiments onto. And you get some, here, we'll do the basic gray cards. 3 basic gray. Right? 3 of these little bottles and tags. So, I mean, just the texture on these is awesome. You don't have to die cut. You don't have to stamp. You don't have to put a little hole in something. And yes, we can make things with our ScanNCuts with the shapes. We can make banners easy. But look at all that texture built into these die cut shapes. And then you get 3 fresh freesia cards. 2, 3. And then you get these 3 cool waves to put on top, which saves you all the time from embossing. That's pretty awesome. Then you get 3 of these, which save you time from embossing the clouds. So this is what your contents are of a typical kit. And this is the embossed piece that we just made our box out of. Right? We just made our box out of that. And then you get 9 balmy blue envelopes to match. So your card kit is ready to go. Let me put everything back in there. Dun, dun, dun. Now I have a complete kit. Otherwise, I didn't want it to mix with my other kit. Okay, let me show you now some inspiration. And we're going to go back to the original. I'm trying to find the original on the Wobble spring. So when I make my next little reel, like it's called a reel when you make a little sneak peek of your video or like a shortened version of your, I'm going to use the song Time in a Bottle because this reminds me of time in a bottle. Like a ship in a bottle is like time in a bottle. So it's like some, you know, in the lyrics, like if I could, you know, it's like if I could save time in a bottle. Okay, so I'm going to show you now. Let me move this up. Sorry for shaking the camera. There's something very special in my family. Oh, lifting this up is my grandfather's ships in a bottle craft that he created. And those of you that were on my ScanNCut video already saw this. And my brother even came in and shared some memories of grandfather, my grandpa, because he was alive. Like he remembers my grandfather even more than I do. I was very young when he passed away. But I do have a treasure to show you. And the treasure is my grandfather's ships in a bottle that he used to create. Let me try to tilt this ring light. Okay, there's going to be a little ring on there. See if I can't get the light to go to the other side. I'm just going to move it around. Well, the ring is the ring. It's going to do it no matter what I do. Okay, I'll shine it in as much as I can. So what I'm showing you now are this craft that my grandfather did called ships in the bottle. He was a merchant marine, and he used to create ships in a bottle as a hobby. Oops. Thank you, Terry, Marilyn. I know, the detail is amazing. So inside here are his... So my brother said that he would put the ship in flat in through the hole. This is a light bulb. This is one of the old light bulbs. So he put and he was born in the 1800s. So this is pretty cool. And he came from Germany, and my grandmother too. So that's my grandmother's house, or her village in the background there in one of the black and white pictures. This is his family. This is my mom. My dad and twin. I'm thinking my dad's on the left, but they're hard to tell apart because they're twins, the two in the T-shirts. My dad and his twin, my Uncle Ralph, my Aunt Dot in the middle, and my Uncle George and my Uncle John. Okay, so that's his family. You got Noah's Ark back there. You can see a little Noah's Ark in the background there, the little ship, and then you got a big ship in the middle, and then you got all these other little ships, and you have this stuff that he used for water. Okay, so his crafts were influenced by his own days in the merchant marine out on ships for months, if not years at a time. And then, of course, my dad joined the Navy, and so my family was very influenced by this water, and I ended up, of course, doing the same thing. I mean, I love the water. I've been associated with Navy, scuba diving, marine biology for a very long time. So when I see these ship symbols, this just really makes me love this kit. So when I showed this to my brother today, I came out with my first card. It's the first card I made. I walked out and said, hey, what does this make you think of? And he's like, oh, wow, Grandpa. And I was like, yeah, the ship in the bottle. So that's what a ship in the bottle looks like. If you've ever heard of a ship in the bottle, now you know what it looks like. And there's a little village in the background, extra details. I mean, lighthouses, more ships, and more extra pieces, little flag. There's an American flag, British flag. I mean, just super, super cool. You can see all the different flags on top of that one. So I wanted to share that with you as part of this video because it influenced me and it made me excited when I saw this kit. All right, thank you all for watching. I appreciate you. And this is the Paper Chef. And I hope you will subscribe to Paper Pumpkin if you haven't already. If you think, oh, what am I going to do with that? Paper Pumpkin kits. I hope this gives you ideas. Like, you don't have to do what it shows in the directions. You don't have to think of it as, oh, I don't like to make a cookie cutter craft. I'm not a cookie cutter crafter. I just take it out and do different things with it. Do whatever you want with it. So that's the way I feel about it. Get your crafty mojo. Okay, Nola's saying yes. So she's going to do a 3 or 6 month prepaid Paper Pumpkin subscription to get more celebration items. Okay. Okay, Kathy's saying it's on the demonstrator site what the free gift is. The little honeycombs. Okay, cool. And we talked about the ink pads. Yes, they are great, these little ink spots for tiny images. And they're not bad. They're just better if you have nothing else. Nola doesn't have hers drying out, but of course, she's in the West Coast. Maybe it's so cold there, yours don't dry out. Probably because it's always raining there. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe there's more humidity. But it just depends on where you're at, if they dry out or not. So thank you. Thank you for the comments on my grandfather's craft, Lisa, Lynn, Kathy, Janet, and all of you guys. Okay, that's all for now. This is the Paper Chef. Have a great day.